sun, sand, surf, glorious weather, beautiful beaches, spectacular golf, sumptuous southern hospitality. Myrtle Beach, America's playground, has it all, including an adrenaline like no other. The Myrtle Beach Speedway, short track races. A different breed lives here. Their glamour is covered with grease, turning left with their hearts on their sleeves, running on family and feuds. But make no mistake, victory here is sacred. To attain it, it requires besting the foremost racers on the planet. Tonight, it's the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, next on MAV TV.
Welcome to the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday gift card late model race. I'm Lenny Baticki, and joining me in the booth is veteran broadcaster Bill Hennessy.
For a racetrack here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right on the Grand Strand, this is a facility that's been around for a long time. Originally built in 1958, it preceded Daytona International Speedway by a year. They got a 2.5-mile super speedway facility, and we got a half-mile dirt track that over the years has evolved into an asphalt facility that every short track racer in the South wants to get a win at. Winning here will propel you on up the ladder of racing success. Over the years, we've seen some greats race here. The Mark Martins, the Chuck Bounds, the Elliott Sadlers, scoring in Busch wins here. But other guys who have run here in the past, as you well know, have really achieved success.
The Pettys, the Allisons, the Earnhardts, the Jarretts, they've all ran here, as well as running with us this week is the current NASCAR champion. And Bill, didn't you speak with him?
Lenny, there's one driver who would like to join that elite group, Lee Pulliam. An interesting study in a local short track racer after winning the national championship this year and also the Myrtle Beach Speedway Track Championship. You ask, who is Lee Pulliam? Lee Pulliam is a name that many of you may not have heard of, unless, of course, you're from the Southeast. At the ripe age of 29, Lee has accumulated 4 Whelen All-American National Championships, 2017 being his 4th, at the home track that he calls Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, 2017 was awesome. It tested the whole team physically and mentally. We put a lot of hours, a lot of miles up and down the highway, traveling to different racetracks, and Myrtle Beach being one of those. And it was just an honor to race so much and have the success we did.
In the 70-year history of Myrtle Beach Speedway, Lee dominated his home track like no other. He is the odds-on favorite to win the Myrtle Beach 400. With all of Lee's successes, you would figure he'd be a top prospect in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. But in today's world, can finances outweigh talent at the Cup level?
It doesn't work like baseball or basketball or football where talent takes you to the next level. It takes so much money now, and we live in a time where it's easier for the team owners to hire drivers that have dads that own Fortune 500 companies or have close associations with a Fortune 500 company, and that's a sad part, a sad fact of it. It doesn't take away the love I have for the sport in no way, but it is extremely tough and challenging as a driver to know that it's almost impossible to reach to the top without someone backing you.
But how would the talent of a late model driver stack up against the Monster Energy Cup drivers? That's a big question.
Jimmy Johnson, you wouldn't want to face against him at Chicago or California or anywhere. You know, he's just that talented. But there's guys in this NASCAR late model series that'll never get a shot that could beat Jimmy Johnson on a weekly basis. They could beat Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin. It's so many guys out there that have a talent to do it, but will never be put in that position. To me, this is one of the best series that NASCAR has, and the talent level is definitely just as high as any other series that's above us.
Pulliam is certainly one of the best late model racers in the country, and he's alongside of our pit reporter, Mark Kenyon.
Myrtle Beach Speedway. This is why you come to Myrtle Beach. Not just the beaches, not just the hotels. Myrtle Beach Speedway. All the big names, all the greats have come here. I'm with Lee Pulliam. Lee, you're the 4-time national champion. Tell me about tonight.
I feel like we got a good shot at winning. This is not an easy track to get around. It's tough. We've got a lot of great competitors here, 59 cars, and we're going to do our best to have a good showing for the fans.
What's your big strategy tonight? Because I saw earlier tires are going to be a big issue. What are you looking at tonight?
Just stay somewhere in the top 10 and try to keep the back tires on it and make a hard run, with 10, 15 to go and try to get to the front.
What would it mean to repeat here?
It'd mean a lot to me. I won this race the first time I ever come here, and I finished third the last 3 years. So, I think we can do it. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces of the puzzle together.
He knows his way to victory lane for sure.
Pulliam's a seasoned veteran. He knows he'll have to stay out of trouble, and with 40 cars, it'll be like rush hour traffic every lap. But a driver gaining experience every lap is 17-year-old Thad Moffitt, grandson of Richard Petty.
It's like everything else. You start somewhere, plant a seed, and now hopefully it's starting to take root so that eventually it'll be a big tree.
It's an exciting time for a 17-year-old driver that's the grandson of Richard Petty. And for Richard, it's got to be an exciting time to watch your grandson race at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Yes, sir. So we started and we weren't, I'd never raced anywhere like the beach. It's like a cheese grater on your tires. I could compare it to like a Darlington or something on tire wear. So I went out there and 10 laps I'd already used up a set of tires. And they were like, you can't race like that. And I was like, why not? I race like that everywhere else. And they were like, well, here you really got to learn to take care of your stuff for the whole 150 laps that you race. And so from that point on, I started learning how to take care of my brakes, take care of my tires, take care of my motor, take care of the whole car for the whole race. A lot of give and take at Myrtle Beach. I learned a lot of give and take at the beach.
The big deal right now is, from his standpoint, he's got to learn the school of hard knocks. Just because he's Richard Petty's grandson, then sometimes somebody's going to give him a harder time. He's got to learn to go with the flow and be able to overcome those kind of things. So, basic deal, you just send him out in the woods, okay, and let him learn the woods, and then when he learns that, then you go out and say, this is a forest, it's not a woods.
So, whenever I first started, I didn't even know how to drive a straight gear. And from to now, I've got to where I can race the whole race and be competitive with all of the front runners, guys that I've been looking up to running my whole life, guys that used to drive for Richard Petty Motorsports like Chad McCombie, and good drivers like Tommy Lemons and Lee Pulliam, and we're running lap times competitive with what they're running.
Thad, Myrtle Beach Speedway is a challenging track. To develop your skills to get to the Xfinity or the Monster Energy Series, you're going to have to master this one. Can you do it?
We just have to make sure our car can stay under us the whole race, and I got to take care of it from behind the wheel to make sure if we run good, we could definitely hit a high point in our career.
Well, that'll certainly be digging hard every lap. And in a similar position to the 17-year-old Moffitt is the 14-year-old grandson of Coach Joe Gibbs. Young Ty Gibbs can barely see over the windshield, but make no mistake, he can wheel a race car. That and Ty are both going to be stars in this sport. They'll be fun to watch. Stay with us. We'll be back with the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E gift card. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by the NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E gift card. Just this year, we saw just how tight the racing community is. Tragic circumstances brought together the racers and the community in unity.
In these parts, W.C. Bell is synonymous with racing history and has a very impressive trophy room to prove it. Inside his trophy room is a great display of photographs, trophies, and awards W.C. has earned, not only as a driver, but also as a very important sponsor. Over the years, W.C. has sponsored some really great drivers: Tim Richmond, Terry Labonte, Lake Speed, including myself at Daytona on several occasions, and most recently, a hometown hero, Justin Milliken. Most race teams consider themselves family, sponsors included. But in all of his years of sponsorship, WC had never endured anything with the likes of this. On the night of July 21st, 2017, members of his racing family were involved in a horrific automobile accident.
Justin Milliken, Terry Evans, Adam Fulford, and his son were headed home after a day of practice here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and they got into an accident on the highway on their way home. Terry Evans has very serious injuries and is in Grand Strand Medical Center. Justin Milliken also has injuries, although not as severe, and is also in the hospital. Adam Fulford and his son were both treated and released.
Just a few weeks after this tragic accident, Terry Evans succumbed to his injuries and passed away. The racing community was under a dark cloud of sadness. Not only were Terry and Justin best friends, the two of them helped each other out with their racing expertise. For Terry Evans, his favorite number was 35. He raced in both the Super Truck and Late Model divisions here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. His two most recent wins were at Myrtle Beach. In the Myrtle Beach 250, he won the limited Late Model feature, and just this past year, he won in his Super Truck. All of his peers respected him on and off the track. His wife, Cassie, will miss the love of her life, driver Terry Evans. Then there's the question: could Justin Milliken go on? Would he return to racing? Would he be ready? What's it gonna take? Inspiration from above would drive Justin back into his car. Recently, he tested for the first time since the accident to see if he was ready.
I feel good. Oh, good. Oh, driving. Well, the driver's adrenaline is pumping pretty good right now.
We're happy. We're happy. He's really quick. Don't seem like he's lost anything. Just hope he's comfortable in the car.
And I've been thinking this whole time that this is what Terry would want us to be doing. He's probably been screaming at me that we hadn't come down here before, but I finally felt like I was healthy enough to come and do the car justice of all the hard work that he had done to get it ready to race. So I look forward to coming back and trying to get that 02 in the Myrtle Beach 400 victory lane.
After months of rehabilitation, both physical and emotional, Justin will finally cinch up the belts one more time, with this historic race staring him down. Justin Milliken is back, doing what he loves to do. There's no doubt that he will have every fan in the grandstand on their feet while he tries to win a race that has eluded him, the Myrtle Beach 400.
Down here with Justin Milliken. Justin, last year you came so close in this you could taste it. Can you get that taste out of your mouth this year?
I think so. We had a really good car in qualifying, and we've got a really good car in race trim. I think if we run our race and take care of our tires, we'll be there in the end.
225 laps. You were in a terrible accident. Are you going to be okay? Can you do 225?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've had a really good, strong physical therapy team and a team of doctors that have taken really good care of me and gotten me fit to run this race. And I've got some help from up above, so I feel good about it.
Physically, you're okay, you think, but then emotionally, how are you emotionally?
I feel good. I'll never be any closer to my buddy than I am at Myrtle Beach Speedway, so I feel really good. I feel really good about this race.
Emotional night here tonight at the Speedway.
Well, a great example of the racing community coming together as a family. But Bill, as a driver, you know, Justin still got to get out there and compete. Have you ever been hurt behind the wheel? What's it like to race with an injury?
I crashed a dash car in turn 2, dislocated finger, bruised kidney, and I was out for 2.5 minutes. They hauled me off to the hospital, and the next week a friend brought a late model for me to drive. I was excited. I was going to do it. I wanted to race, but it rained out.
Well, the weather doesn't look like rain down here in Myrtle Beach at all. Can Milliken get out there and run all of these laps and be physically capable of challenging at the end?
He's been second in this race on 3 occasions. He's got to overcome, with all the rehabilitation that he's had, he's in shape. I just wonder about his neck. It's hard to hold your neck up and your head for 225 laps. That might be the thing that wears him out.
Well, and if that doesn't get him, he's got to go up against some incredible teams. Not only Lee Pulliam, Peyton Sellers, you've got the powerhouse team from Junior Motorsports here.
Junior raced here for 3 years in the late model division and started his very first Busch race at that time. There's a lot of competition here. It's a stellar group. They're all all-stars.
One of those all-stars is a home stater, Blair Addis. He's down with our Mark Kenyon.
Blair, this is only the second race you've run this year. You a little concerned about 225?
No, you know, I've kind of been working hard for this race. I lost my crew chief back in July to cancer, and this is pretty much for him this weekend. So we're looking to hope to have a good show. And we didn't qualify like we wanted to, but I think we'll race really well.
You're racing against some big dollar teams out here. How do you guys like you do it?
Well, you know, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of big cup teams, relatives, and so forth that has teams nowadays. We're here to have fun. You know, if you take the competition out of it, it's not going to be a fun sport. So therefore, I feel like if they're the best down here and I can outrun them, I've accomplished things. You know, I'll be 50 next year, so I'm running with kids that are 14 and 15 years old. So that's pretty phenomenal.
The stage is set, and we'll be back to cover the action at the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday e-gift card. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by the NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday e-gift card.
There's always Chamber of Commerce weather in Myrtle Beach. Today, it's in the 70s, a little overcast, but a great day to go racing. The feature event today will be 225 laps. At lap 125, a red flag will be displayed. Everybody goes to the pits for 10 minutes. They can add fuel, take on 2 new tires, and make adjustments, but they've got to be ready to go at the end of 10. We race then to lap 200. The final 25 laps will be raced under green. Let's check in once again with Mark Kenyon for the track conditions here at race time.
Track conditions. The modifieds just got done running their entire race on this track. It really didn't take rubber. It's still abrasive, so it's going to be an interesting night to see what goes on here. It's cooling down just a little bit, but not a lot. So it's going to be an interesting thing when this breaks.
Well, you've seen the views of what the racetrack looks like. It's almost time to go racing here at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
The motors have fired, the drivers are buckled in, and we'll be back for Myrtle Beach Speedway with the start of the Visit Myrtle Beach 400. Stay with us. We'll be back on MAV TV.
The Visit Myrtle Beach 400 is brought to you by NASCAR Racing Experience. Give the gift of speed, the Holiday e-gift card. Daytona 1, performance and beyond. Renegade Race and Performance Fuels. Bell & Bell. Buick GMC. the official vehicles of Myrtle Beach Speedway. Petty's Garage, performance vehicles since 1949. HEDMAN HEDDERS, proud to say, made in the USA. Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Visit myrtlebeach.com. Racekeeper, the world's first multi-camera dual systems, 1080p video data logging system. Husqvarna, Canon small engine specialist, located in nearby Conway. Hoosier Racing Tires, tires designed for champions. WPDE, ABC 15, for the PD and South Carolina's Grand Strand.
Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday gift card. You're looking at the late models rolling on the parade lap, and what a field of cars we have.
Stellar field of cars, to be exact. The all-stars of late model stock car racing from the Wheeling All-American Series, sanctioned under NASCAR. And this race here is a culmination of 2017. And now our starting lineup for the Myrtle Beach 400. Driving the junior motorsports car, it's Josh Berry on the pole, flanked by the winner at Martinsville, Timothy Peters. Second row, Tyler Hughes and Jake Crum. Then Justin Milliken, looking for the opportunity to perform a miracle here at Myrtle Beach. Then it's the coach's grandson, Ty Gibbs, in the 18G. Tommy Lemons Jr., a former winner, goes 7th. 8th is a former Virginia and national champion, Peyton Sellers. 4-time national champion and Myrtle Beach Speedway champion is Lee Pulliam, going 9th on the grid. Lane Riggs, second-generation driver, is 10th, followed by Michael Falk and Justin Johnson. Then it's Chad McCumbee, who won the truck race here last weekend. Then it's David Roberts out of Greenville, South Carolina, going 14th. Then it's Shane Lee, followed by Ryan Millington. Thad Moffitt carrying one of our in-car cameras for the Petty Garages. Charles Powell III, a former regional champion, goes 18th in the 88P. Then it's Grayson Cullither in 19th. Myatt Snyder goes 20th, a former winner. Field being paced by the Bell & Bell Buick Pace Car. Bell & Bell, located in Little River, South Carolina. And there's the Petty Garages 2018 Mustang performance car.
One of the unique views we have this weekend is in-car cameras in 3 of our race cars, Bill.
Racekeeper's technology has come up with a new type of in-car camera with a couple of views and some interesting perspectives technically about the race car. And tonight we've got 3 drivers who are going to be carrying those in-car cameras that will give us a different view of Myrtle Beach Speedway, because it'll be the on-track action.
The 46 car of Thad Moffitt.
The Petty's Garage is sponsoring the in-car for Thad Moffitt. Blair Addis is being sponsored by HEDMAN HEDDERS. And then there's the O2 car of a former track champion, Justin Milliken.
The lights are out on the pace car. All these drivers tug on those belts. The spotters telling them what their last-minute words would be. And then we'll be ready to go. Myrtle Beach 400. Look at these cars coming by. I mean, there's Lee Pulliam in the 5, right alongside of Lane Riggs. Everybody could come up to speed. This one, 43 cars glistening in the lights here at the Grand Strand. Josh Berry going to lead them to the line, and we're going racing. Berry brings them around corner number 2 down the back straightaway, and already it looks like Crum trying to make a move on the inside as the rest of the field follows him around. Berry is your leader. The battle for second now starting to be the one contested early here at Myrtle Beach.
Lots of traffic. This is a treacherous racetrack trying to do 3 and 4 abreast. Sometimes it works, but chances are Lady Luck will frown on you should you try to do that.
Jake Crum in second. Peters, who pretty much gave him that spot. Very wise. It's early in this contest, and Jake Crum is one of those racers that wants to get out there and chop it a bit hard. Tyler Hughes in fourth. Young Ty Gibbs up to fifth.
Running outstandingly here in the early going. But once again, there's always that question. Are you going to burn your tires off? Are you going to be too aggressive? Or are you going to allow the race to come to you?
I think when you're Ty Gibbs, you're just excited to be out there. You're young, you're wide-eyed, you're in Myrtle Beach, and you're running up in fourth position. So good times right now. Can they control him to be able to keep this race car under it?
Well, it looks like Milliken is now in the hunt. Milliken is riding in fifth place right now. And this driver, of course, we're going to be telling you more about his story as we go along. Pulliam's driving along just like I expected him to. Keep it under him. Don't get too aggressive, even though now he is challenging Ty Gibbs.
Challenging there alongside of Tyler Hughes for the time being. They touched just a bit. You see with the full weight of the fuel, some of the sparks coming through the corners on these race cars. Lane Riggs in the mix there as they flash by. That's a race car in the white. Down the straightaway, there's Pulliam in the 5. And the steakhouse machine of his Virginia neighbor.
Peyton Sellers, who's been racing forever he was a former national champion himself, and a super nice family. And he's also had a start in the 24 Hours of Daytona a number of years ago, and he got it on his ability by helping set the guy who had the GT prototype car up at DIR, which is right near his house.
Well, while we've talked about him up front, Jake Crum has taken the lead away. And Crum there with the green stripes around on the 01 is your leader now. Barry, Peters, Gibbs, and Tommy Lemons Jr. has moved up into the 5th spot. Lemons Jr.'s got some good race cars. We'll see as the race plays along for him.
And Lemons a former winner here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. You talk about Jake Crum. He used to have a nickname. He picked it up while he was racing the Legends cars up at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jake the Snake.
Yeah, but his wife Annabeth Barnes Crum said, yeah, you know, we don't like saying that anymore. Annabeth, you know, what she wants, we all try to just get in line and let her, you know, tell us. So she has said not. So he'll be Jake Crum for a while with me. Crum will also call him another nickname, Leader, because that one's the one that is very much approved.
Peters is starting to feel the heat of Ty Gibbs. Now, a lot of folks are probably saying, Ty Gibbs sounds familiar. Washington Redskins coach, synonymous. That's his granddad.
Well, right now I'm impressed with the Anderson Motor Speedway champion, David Roberts, there now in second as he's driven around on the outside, and he's got himself challenging for the lead. David Roberts in second, that blue car following the black and green machine of Crum, leading Barry, and now Barry's got company as well, the 27 of Lemons Jr. Crum in front, Roberts second as they work their way around corner number 4, addressing the fans in the grandstands here at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Roberts from the Greenville Pickens Speedway going to the outside, and he is giving a challenge to the leader. They're both side by side heading into turn 3, and smartly Crum gives it up.
The upstate racer from South Carolina, David Roberts, takes over the front position here. Roberts, Crum, and now Lemons into third around Barry.
Lemons, a hustler out of Troy, North Carolina. They're in the contracting business, and he knows how to get around here. Sometimes Lady Luck doesn't smile on him, but if she does tonight, he'll find his way to victory lane.
Absolutely. A true Southern short track wheelman, Tommy Lemons Jr. And in front, though, another one. The veteran, David Roberts, out front. Crum sits second. Lemons, and now Barry. As they make their way around. Outside goes the 63 here. As we got Thad Moffitt in the 46, the 63 machine. Working their way around. That is Throckmorton Chris Throckmorton in the yellow and blue 63.
He resides here in Myrtle Beach now, originally from South Boston, Virginia. And he moved down here and started racing originally in the Charger division.
Moffitt in the field. As you see this, the 46, Thad Moffitt. He's got one of our in-car cameras as well.
Well, those are some interesting shots from inside the car.
Right now, while these cars are in line and getting their laps down, we're going to take a break and we'll be back with more. Oh, we got a car spinning. We're going to stay with this one. As he spins, we'll find out who it is.
Thad Moffitt.
Moffitt involved in this, as well as another driver. And while they get this righted, we'll be back to show you replays and more. Stay with us. We'll be back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 here on MAV TV. Welcome back to the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E-Gift Card. You're looking at the field following the pace car, and that blue machine is David Roberts from Greenville, South Carolina. There's one of the cars involved in the incident that brought out this caution, Thad Moffitt. Here's the replay as you'll see the cars coming through the corner, and watch for Thad Moffitt's car as you look towards the back of the field. There's the spinning car, the 60 machine, getting spun around first. And I got to believe Moffitt at the 60 had contact out there on the racetrack, or at least the 60 actually may have been contacted by another driver, and Moffitt caught up in it.
Thad Moffitt going for a wild ride, spinning over in the second quarter. Bringing out the yellow flag now, field under caution. Mark Kenyon's with the crew chief on the Thad Moffitt car.
Derek, what happened? What'd he say?
He said he just has too much rear brake, got on the brakes too hard and spun himself out there. So having put a little front brake to it maybe won't happen this time.
41 cars started this event tonight, and that is outstanding for any racetrack in the nation to field 41 super competitive cars, especially in this division. During the season, they run under the Wheeling All-American Series, and that's what this track ran under this year. And, of course, we see Lee Pulliam there, who captured the championship here at Myrtle Beach, which helped propel him to the national title.
Fourth time he has been a national champion, and that certainly bodes well for coming here to Myrtle Beach Speedway as a racer. Green flag is out, and Roberts trying to work the outside groove around Crum as the field files by.
Josh Berry right there in third place, and then young Ty Gibbs is there.
31 laps complete as the cars come out of corner number 4. It is Jake Crum, your leader, followed by Roberts.
In that last shot, you notice the buildup of rubber shards from the tires, showing just how abrasive this track is.
Absolutely. Grinding the grid off, almost a cheese grater-like effect on these racing tires. And now Crum pinned to the bottom while Roberts is able to use the momentum up high. He'll take the lead away.
Look at the line he was using. He's arcing high out, getting into turn 1. Then he's swooping down, apexing at the exit, then swooping back out against the outside retaining wheel.
Almost, somewhat like a road course. You've really got to work that steering wheel. It's not a pure oval.
Well, nobody ever addresses this, but the two ends of the track are entirely different.
And this track, the first corner they're just going through is one of the most unique in all of racing. How you enter it is so different, as you said.
One of the guys in the super late models who actually held the track record here for a period of time was Dave Mater III out of Alabama. And he would slam that car down there into turn 1 and run across the ripple strips and then hook it, come out of the second corner.
Wow. Dave Mater III. I remember when he started the very first night race at the Winston at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He was in the field that night.
One of those second-generation drivers is Dave Mater. His dad drove in so many cup-level races.
Well, David Roberts is the leader by a big margin. It's still early. 36 laps complete. Jake Crum, Josh Berry, Tommy Lemons Jr. amongst the cars behind him.
22-second laps are what we're seeing. Usually a good run here would be a 21.4. 21.4, and everybody says, well, what's the speed here? The speed is right at 98 miles an hour. Now you'd think people would say 120. Well, entering in turn 1 on a radar gun, and I used to track them, the fastest I ever saw anybody go into turn 1 was Ken Alexander. He rolled into turn 1 at 106 miles an hour, washed out of turn 2. Mayer rolled in there at 102 and set the track record.
Amazing. It's all about how you get around it right now. Getting around and getting the lead is Jake Crum. And I got to give a call to the guy in fourth, that white car, Ty Gibbs. What a run he's having.
Ty Gibbs is on the money. Looks like the old coach has given him a ride to the front.
Absolutely. Ty Gibbs sitting there in that all-white car.
In the pits right now is Anthony Alfredo, the 19-year-old driver who drives the 8 for Junior Motorsports. But looks like he's sidelined as of right now. But your leader happens to be a man who's out for a mission here. He wants to accomplish winning the checker flag. That's Jake Crum, followed by Simpsonville, South Carolina's David Roberts. Down on the inside, the 88 of Josh Berry. Then Ty Gibbs in fourth place. 2 Myrtle Beach 400 champions ride back behind them.
Crum followed by Roberts, Josh Berry, and I like what Berry's done. Roberts and Crum have swapped the lead a number of times, but Berry has held third consistently.
Berry was actually leading this race and got involved in a skirmish late. And he said that he wants to redeem himself and win this Myrtle Beach 400. It's that important, especially sending a message up to the boss man, Dale Jr., who's retiring.
Absolutely. Hard racing, and we'll take a break and be back for more of it at the Visit Myrtle Beach 400. Stay with us. We'll be back on MAV TV. We're back at Myrtle Beach Speedway, the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday gift card. And Roberts and Crum close. You know, that was almost one of those things where you had the air taken off of the spoiler of Crum, and it could have spun him right around.
Well, they're coming up on some slower traffic. It looks like Bryant Barnhill, who's got a ride next season.
Well, right now, Barnhill needs to ease out of the way of these leaders. He's gone a lap down. There's no sense in getting in the way of Peters and Pulliam and Berry.
A dedicated racer, though. His dad, granddad, Jack Barnhill, actually promoted this track 1 year for Nick Lucas. But I'm telling you one thing about the Barnhill family. They've always raced here at Myrtle Beach. Sometimes they say they're going to walk away from it, but I've never seen them do that more than a race.
Out of the corner, the leader in the black and green, that is Jake Crum. The blue car sits in second. David Roberts, and look at Timothy Peters. Peters now making his way, his move for third around Pulliam to move Peters up. The kid that won Martinsville now rumbling up. He'll actually go for second as Roberts starts to slow. 105 laps will go up next time. 20 to go before the break.
The leader, Crum, was fourth at this event last year. So he wants to do a little bit better by about 3 places.
Absolutely. Timothy Peters, who the night before ran down at the final NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race in Florida at Homestead, and about to assert himself up into the front.
Came here with a limited amount of practice, even though he came with 2 teammates, and they ran a practice session a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I may miss this when I'm going down to Homestead. I picked up a ride, but I'm planning on flying back up here. But obviously, he flew during the night, because when I saw him this morning, he was already in the car trying to get those laps in, and he obviously has a very good setup under the car.
Peters goes to the outside, takes the lead away, and that auto's by Nelson. No matter where he's gone in recent years, they've always backed him, and you got to give a tip of the cap to a place like Autos by Nelson, who keeps and stays with a quality race driver like Peters. And staying with him is Jake Crum. Crum's not letting him go easy.
Crum has got the pressure on Timothy Peters, the guy that won at Martinsville, Virginia. And you were talking about Barry Nelson. He owns multiple dealerships in and around the Martinsville area. And there's one thing they said he likes: stock car racing, and he likes his team.
Well, and he's got a very likable driver up front. Timothy Peters has taken the lead. Peters red machine, the 12, flashing by start-finish line.
Going by Matt Cox on the high side. Matt being sponsored by Black's Tire Service. Now they're running up on the Thad Moffitt car. I hate to see Thad go a lap down at this juncture, but that spin earlier may have affected his tires.
Oh, and look at Blair Addis. Addis on the inside in that yellow and black machine.
Sponsored by HEDMAN HEDDERS. Addis, one of those guys who says he's only raced a few times this year, but he wanted to come to Myrtle Beach and bring his sponsor, HEDMAN HEDDERS, here.
Well, Addis has got a good view out the front glass of that 51 car, and we are going to ride along with him and see what it looks like on that in-car camera. The red car there is the leader.
If you follow short track racing, you realize sometimes the rules at this level are much different than the Cup or the Trucks or the Xfinity Series. And the reason that is because this is an inherited form of racing for the short tracks to keep them safe. That's why we don't have green flag pit stops. They're basically too dangerous for a pickup crew today to try to handle on a pit lane with other competitors who are coming into the fray. The 30 car on the outside there is Brian Voss, who's turned more laps at this racetrack in the NASCAR racing experience cars than anybody else. He's also responsible for keeping this track clean and raceable.
Charlie Powell the third there, the white and blue car. The leader is in the red machine going by him. That is Timothy Peters, 123, now 124 laps on timing and scoring. Next time by, once the field finishes that entire lap, we're supposed to have a caution, and then we'll have a break.
Charlie Powell the third, CP3, didn't want to get past here. He wanted to stay on the lead lap. That's important. He's won NASCAR Dash Series races here, one of the winningest all-time late model racers here, and he won the Mid-Atlantic Championship back
Sparks
in the
coming
late
out
90s.
from Peyton Seller's car. They're waiting for the caution, and right in front of the leader, he gets a little sideways.
Got to stay on that lead lap. That's what he's battling for.
Crum has got the leader pinned down to the ground here. We're waiting on the 125 caution. It hasn't come out yet. It still doesn't come out. Now it does.
H.C. Sellers, his crew chief, and his brother, Daddy Burt, up spotting for him, was basically, Peyton, whatever you do, hang on, hang on. We got to keep you on the lead lap.
And they've got some fire underneath that car, and while they attend to it, and Timothy Peters rolls around this racetrack, we'll take a break and be back to the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 on MAV TV. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E gift card. The field under caution, a planned caution, a break if you will, so that these teams can service the cars safely and we can get ready to go after the halfway mark.
Every race requires performance, and the performance is in the racing fuel. Here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, we use Renegades exclusively. Representative Tim Tyner had the opportunity to talk with us earlier about the performance value of Renegades fuel and their involvement in racing.
Down here with Tim Tyner, Renegade Racing Fuel. Tim, all these race cars today on your fuel. How proud of you of that?
Yes, sir. We are really proud to be with Renegade here with Bob Lutz at Myrtle Beach Speedway, providing this 110 octane in all these race cars out here. It's been a great success since Bob has took over the track and has really got it on the upswing. We're already looking forward to next year to supplying the fuel here again.
Myrtle Beach Speedway is a multi-purpose facility purchased by Bob Lutz some 5 years ago, and in doing so, he's got action 7 days a week here. Things like the monster trucks, drifting with lots of smoke and plenty of action. The Horry County Fair. 7 days a week, activities take place at this famed facility.
We're talking right now about for next year's event, changing it up a little on this weekend. We're going to do twin races for the modifieds. We're going to split them up on Friday and Saturday. We're going to do some lock in some of the top drivers on Friday with the late models, and then come back with more qualifying on Saturday. Just trying to look at ways that we can make this more competitive and fun experience for the fans as well as the racers.
When you start talking about the fun experience for both the fans and the spectators and those watching on TV, you're also involved with the NASCAR racing experience and have ventured into new territory with that.
Yeah, fortunately, I acquired the Richard Petty driving experience earlier this year. Combined both that with the NASCAR racing experience, and now able to offer the experience at more tracks, more dates, for all of our fans to be able to experience driving an actual full-size NASCAR race car on one of the nation's premier super speedways. We're running it at 20 different racetracks, all the way from California to Vegas to Texas, up to New Hampshire, down to Homestead, and pretty much everywhere in between. And I want to thank every one of the participants, the fans, the viewers, for coming out and supporting the Myrtle Beach 400.
Bob Lutz is someone who was brought up in the sport of speed and has a lot of empathy for it. We're in the 125-lap break here at Myrtle Beach. It's the halfway break, and Mark Kenyon is with our leader, Timothy Peters.
Tim, how's it going? You look good out there.
Yeah, the car's pretty good, wasn't here yesterday, was down in Homestead running the truck race, and Bobby McCarty did a good job shaking down autosbynelson.com Camry, and it's flawless right now. Just need to make a little bit of adjustment to tighten it up, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Now, what will you do? Stagger air pressure? How do you tighten the car up?
Track bar, maybe some wedge, something like that.
All right. Good luck tonight.
Well, it looks like Peters has the recipe. Thanks, Mark, for getting down there and getting those comments. A lot of the drivers out of their cars, getting some refreshments, and getting ready to strap back in and run it to the finish. Mark Kenyon down on pit road having a conversation with Josh Berry. Let's catch up with those two.
Josh, you're up the front. You're at the front. What's your plan now going forward? I mean, you're going to try to ride, or you got to stay up front and run?
It seemed like we probably need to save a little bit more for the second half. Got a little bit free there late in that run, so we're gonna make some adjustments here and just try to keep the tires on a little bit better this last run. I still feel good about it. We're right there in the mix of it, so we're just gonna hopefully make the right adjustments here, and we'll be there at the end.
Good, man.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more from Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 right here on MAV TV. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E gift card. The late models are on the track. They've just had their break at lap 125. We now go the next 100 laps to the finish of the Myrtle Beach 400. Timothy Peters, who finished 10th in last night's truck race down in Florida, is your race leader in that red 12. The 01 is Jake Crum, followed by Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s junior motorsports racer, Josh Berry. This one's going to get good. 100 laps to go. The Myrtle Beach 400, the cars come up to full song, crossing start-finish line. Down into corner number 1. Katie bar the door. This one's going to get good, and Crum takes the lead down the back straightaway from Peters.
Crum was showering some sparks. The car may have been lowered, or they may have taken some of the air
somebody
pressure
else
out.
has got problems. The yellow
44 car. Out of shape, trying to gather it back up, and looks like another car has got a wrinkled hood there. I'll be a little more definitive about it. That was a guy riding right behind the yellow 44 car.
Oh my, that is the 96. We'll have to get our spotter confirmation on that while Crum pulls away. Definitely damage in the back of the pack between some of these competitors.
Look at the shower of sparks.
That's McCumbee in the 16 car.
McCumbee won the truck race here last weekend. And Chad, of course, one of the drivers who's won the MX5 Cup Championship with his rider, Steve Gallagher. Now, what happened was he won $200,000 road racing on Mazda Miata MX5. He's got 6 of those cars that he prepares for different drivers. But then his driver won the last race of the season out in California and picked up another $75,000. McCumbee, a shoe that had one start for Richard Petty at Pocono a number of years back.
Problems for, looks like the 8 maybe of Alfredo. There's a couple of 8s out there, and that one's definitely got problems. That was Anthony Alfredo.
Looks like he may have lost a radiator hose, or looks like that's water, not necessarily oil, and perhaps he blew a hose off.
Well, that's the Junior Motorsports teammate to Josh Berry, and certainly not happy at all with the circumstances. We've got a replay of it as Alfredo goes up in smoke. There was nobody.
Look at everybody sliding around. That was possibly water.
Tommy Lemons, the
Ty
closest
Gibbs
car.
hung on to it.
Yeah, Gibbs slid to the bottom of the racetrack. Lemons did a great job because that shower of mist came right up into his windshield.
As we clear the track, let's visit Myrtle Beach Marketing and Communications Director Julie Ellis as she chats about the great weather, activities, and easy air travel during the off-season.
Summer's a blast, but in the off-season we still have great weather. You never know when you're going to get that sunny 60, 70-degree day. Crowds are a lot lighter here. Prices are great. There's great resort discounts and hotel discounts you can enjoy, and most of the attractions are open all winter long as well.
It's interesting that we talk about the off-season. The Chamber used to say it was the secret season, but there are more people discovering it now than ever before.
There certainly are, you know, with the great discounts you can enjoy. And of course, we get 215 sunny days on average here in Myrtle Beach. That means you've got a pretty darn good chance of hitting a really great day no matter what time of year it is. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we've got golf here too, over 88 golf courses. Those are real golf courses, and about 60 putt-putt courses or mini golf courses. So there's a lot of outdoor activities as well as indoor shows and other great attractions here in Myrtle Beach. And I got to tell you about the Myrtle Beach Airport. It is a smaller airport, but it's extremely efficient, very close to downtown Myrtle Beach, very easy to get to and from through security. It really is an amazing asset to our community, and it's made it very easy for people to come visit Myrtle Beach. I certainly would like to invite everyone to come down and try Myrtle Beach. Summer's a great time, of course, and it's time to plan 2018. You can think about that and get all kinds of information at visitmyrtlebeach.com.
A great place to stay on South Carolina's Grand Strand is the DoubleTree Resort by Hilton. Enjoy the pools. All the rooms have an ocean view. They've got a great lounge and a great restaurant, the Ocean Blue. Book today, myrtlebeachresort.doubletreebyhilton.com. It's all new. Bring your family or book your next business conference.
Lights out on the pace car. Jake Crum in the black and green machine on the inside. The red and white and black machine is Timothy Peters. The blue car on the outside, that is David Roberts from Gray Court, South Carolina. And Chad McCumbee making his way up into the top 4. Got to give a call to Blair Addis. His crew chief, Roger Donald, passed away this summer. Blair parked the car, and then his crew, and they all got together and said, you know, Roger would want you at this race. And that's why they're here in tribute of their crew chief that battled cancer to the end. And they're here to honor his memory. Right now, Addis is in the field as the field gets set to come out of corner number 4. Jake Crum and Timothy Peters going at it here at Myrtle Beach. The Visit Myrtle Beach 400 back under green. Coming out of 2, Crum is your leader. Peters under assault there as McCumbee tries to make the move for second.
Cumbie is the type of driver that also is a thinking driver. He's not one that's going to wear his equipment out. He's raced here enough, and he's raced in other divisions of racing across the country, that he knows what to do. They were going to field several other cars for this event, but they were involved in a collision. Now, let me tell you about the history on the Chad McCumbee car. It's been racing since the early 90s. It was purchased from another driver in the field, Stuart Ricks, the oldest car they have, and look how well it's running. It should tell you something about the longevity of these race cars if you don't crash them.
Yeah, crashing is certainly not the way you are able to keep it for decades. You've got to have good drivers in there, wheelmen that know where to place a car so that it is at its maximum, but not at its peak of the potential for wrecking. And right now, out front, pretty good place to be for McCumbee. He sits in second all by himself. Jake Crum is your race leader.
I've seen Chad race in the ARCA division, race for Andy Belmont. He's raced in the Truck Series. He's raced the MX-5 Cup cars. He's raced in the IMSA ST Street Tuner class in a Mazda. He's sponsored by Mazda in road racing, and he does it very, very well. And most of the crew for those cars are right out of Brunswick County, North Carolina, where all of his friends reside.
Well, right now, a guy from the upstate of South Carolina, Gray Court to be exact, has taken the lead away from Jake Crum. That being David Roberts, the Anderson Motor Speedway multi-time track champion. Roberts really accounting well for himself. He has been just magnificent up there at the top of the field.
And it's totally unexpected with this strong a field that David Roberts has been flexing his muscle lap after lap. He rolls back and relaxes, then he passes the same cars he's let by him. It's amazing for this driver.
Sylvia Porter, the promoter at Anderson Speedway, would just be smiling watching one of her stars out there. Anderson Motor Speedway, just a beautiful racetrack. Make your plans to try to go over there at some point next season when she opens up. Sylvia is a multi-generation racing family, and Sylvia does a great job over there. Sylvia Porter, her race driver, her track champion. David Roberts in front.
I've always heard compliments about Sylvia's ability to run the racetrack, and of course her dad, Rupert Porter, was the man that started it and really believed in racing there in Anderson, which is just south of Greenville and Spartanburg.
Well, right now Jake Crum wants the lead back. He goes to the inside of Roberts. Down at the bottom, the white line there. They'll drag off of corner number 4. Roberts gets it as they come across. It's Crum now the leader.
That little move that Jake made on the corner entry where the car rode up the racetrack, David Roberts had to react. Scrubbed off just a hair of speed, and he fell back 2 car lengths behind him.
Yeah, these guys are really exacting racing. Got to be careful of that hot dog wrapper flopping around on the racetrack. You don't want to cover any more of the grill than you have with your tape, because if you do, tell them about it.
Heat, hot, and you'll end up like Anthony Alfredo, where it looked like he blew a hose off and the car ran hot because he spilled that fluid here on the front straightaway, but it wasn't oil.
Down that front straightaway, McCumbee peels off, takes to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to get around David Roberts. The red car, Timothy Peters, on the inside of Lee Pulliam. That is a fantastic top 5. Jake Crum is your leader.
Chad has always been strong here. Been racing here since about 1991. Came up through go-karts over the years. It's got a nice shop and facility outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Used to be sponsored by some of the guys that constructed a lot of the oceanfront properties out at Ocean Isle and Sunset Beach.
Well, with the race moving along rapidly, we're going to take this opportunity to go to break. So stay with us. We'll be right back with more from the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 here on MAV TV. Welcome back to the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E gift card. Laps winding down here in the second part of the race. David Roberts from Great Court, South Carolina, in a spirited battle with the car to his inside, Jake Crum. They are up front.
I'm impressed with both of these drivers. Roberts had a little advantage getting into the corner. He's up on the higher edge of the track. The shorter way around, of course, as you well know, is at the bottom. But Roberts, when he seems to flex his muscle, he's got him covered. Can he stay there? That's the question. But look at Chad McCumbee lurking in third place. Everybody else seems to be just riding back behind them, wondering, hey, how long is this going to last? 2 by 2 by 2.
And that 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back to Tommy Lemons and even beyond. There are still drivers that we haven't spoken a lot about, including Butterbean, Brandon Queen there in the green and pink and blue car.
Back in the hunt.
Yes, they are. He has had a big race. He's worked and earned his way up into that top half of or top dozen or so, and he still has a shot at this. This race by no means is over. Hang on. Get your popcorn out, as they say, because this one's going to be good.
Sam Mayer still in the hunt in the 41 car, but it's a gaggle of cars. How do you work traffic when you have no place to go?
Well, I think they're going to have to put out the chrome horn at some point. It may not come right now because they've got time to still watch the laps wind down. 175 going to be going up on the scoreboard any moment. And once we get to 200, then that'll lock us into all green flag laps. So you don't want to put out a caution now and then have to go through a caution. You want to wait till those 25 laps, or even if you happen to tap on somebody, you know you're going to keep green flag laps.
Let's remind everybody where Myrtle Beach Speedway is located. It's about 4.5 miles from the beach out on Highway 501 North next to the Tanger Outlets. If you take your wife to the Tanger Outlets, why don't you drive on over here and you'd have the opportunity to drive a NASCAR racing experience car while she's out shopping. You could be over here having a little bit of fun on your own.
Race cars on the track having fun, but it's really now starting to get to business. Bill, as somebody who's been in the driver's seat, this part of the race, your hands are filled with sweat. You've got your helmet there. Everything is bunched up. What are you feeling now? How do you get that car up front?
Well, I think that oftentimes the stressful driver can't win. It's the guy that's cool, calm, and collected. And you know what he's thinking about? Nothing but the race car, nothing about anything other than I've got to catch that guy. I'm catching him, I'm catching him, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer. And then he's got to make the pass. That's the most difficult part of it.
Well, I tell you, as impressive as the drivers up front, how about how Timothy Peters has not bumped into Lee Pulliam? How Josh Berry.
It's like they're running pace laps.
Well, they're that good. That's what's so amazing. These guys respecting one another for the time being and running side by side by side.
At the same time, they're blocking those guys right behind them. What can Gibbs do? What can Josh Berry do? What can young Sam Mayer do? What can they do? The track is a wide track, but it closes up on corner entry.
Well, I'll tell you what, hopefully these young drivers are doing is mentally videotaping these laps, watching these veterans up in front of them.
Josh Berry was getting close to forcing the hand on Timothy Peters. He dove down to the inside. Once again, it closed the door. Closed the door. Peters did that. And Ty Gibbs wants to shove him down to the bottom, maybe make a run between the two of them. Something's got to give at some point.
Josh Berry has won the Cars Tour Championship this year. He brought it home to Junior Motorsports, put the trophy on Kelly Earnhardt's desk. He's good to go for next year. But he has one thing in mind, that this race last year was taken away from him. He wants to get its revenge on this, and if he has to drive through Peters or anyone else, he may be able to do that. May just do it.
He stated he wasn't very happy with his teammate last year because it was a squeeze number out of turn 4, and he said, I came up short. Gee, I only needed 6 inches.
Well, his teammate this year is Anthony Alfredo, watching after his engine let go earlier in the event. So now Barry is watching this. Oh, and we got,
yellow.
looks like Snyder there.
No, that's Stephen.
Stephen Parsons,
Yep.
excuse me.
And he's parked over there in turn 3, just shy of the scoreboard. So the yellow is waving here. This is going to give everybody a chance to relax. This is a chance to think about your strategy now.
Well, and let's give those watching at home, as we see Stephen moving inside the race car. He's upset, but he'll be okay. We'll give you a chance to take a break. We'll take a break from here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 will be back on MAV TV. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway and the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday E gift card. Under caution here, and one of the cars damaged in caution is Justin Milliken. Now, he had one of our in-car cameras. Let's take a look at what caused that damage.
The Racekeeper video telemetry is on board with Justin Milliken's Bell & Bell Buick GMC in-car over in turn 2. The racing gets close with Greg Edwards, as Milliken and Edwards are colliding in this short track competition at over 100 miles an hour.
That was some pretty neat video there. Now the field forming up behind the pace car. The lights are out. The next time they go by start finish, we should be under green. Crum and David Roberts, your front row.
2 by 2. Seems like we've had quite a few restarts here tonight. Everybody lined up almost like they were on the initial start, with the exception of we've shuffled the deck of cars, not cards, but cars. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here. We still have another break to go. We'll have another yellow flag, which will basically pull everybody together for our final 25 laps of racing.
Crum and Roberts have done their best to swap back and forth the lead. There's been another car or two from time to time, but they've held the top spot. Between them, we go back to green flag racing, and right now, Chad McCumbee takes a big look to the inside, thinks better of it for the time being. Lee Pulliam stays up high. Timothy Peters and Ty Gibbs and Josh Berry chasing them.
Everybody's looking for a break in the action. Somebody to make a wrong move, open up enough space to get a car through so they can advance forward. Because right now, if you're running 5th or 6th or 7th, you're really feeling like, I need a break.
Yeah, you may need a break, and you're going to need a big one from one of the best in the business. And I don't know who's going to slip up in these top cars. They have been running very good. Leader is Crum. McCumbee starting to try to force the issue here in this closing laps before this segment bears out. McCumbee would love to have the top spot when we go to break, and McGee goes to the bottom of the racetrack, and McCumbee will drag race Crum down into 3.
Racing a 27-year-old race car. This car was built in the early 90s, formerly wheeled by Stuart Ricks here at this racetrack. And he is putting the pressure on Jake Crum. He's been holding his hands back a little bit, not gripping the wheel, not quite so firmly as he's doing it right now. But he also realizes, I have to show some finesse. I can pass him, but I've got to be smooth.
Oh, he was a little loose coming out of that corner, and Lee Pulliam right behind him. So McCumbee wants to get around Crum. He'll go after him again. Crumley on the attack. Crum on the outside.
Chad digging though, and he's got the bottom of the racetrack. If he can hang on to it, it's a drag race out of 4 back to the start-finish line, but Mr. Crum stands on it strongly.
Stands on it strongly, but how about Lee Pulliam? I've been cooling my tires. I've been watching all this. I want to go, he says. Crum blocks him on the high side. McCumbee down at the bottom. These 3 going at it. The laps winding down to that break.
We're not going to have the break, I don't believe, unless something changes. I just think we're going to run these last 25 laps under green.
Wow, if they keep them out there, that's what they said.
It's showtime now.
25 laps to go. All green flag will come up. In fact, it's 24 right now. We'll go to 23 laps to go next time by. This one's getting real serious. And look at Lee Pulliam come to the front.
Lee Pulliam's done what he's done all season long. That's why he's won 13.
Oh,
no, that's not what he needed.
Crum got into the rear of Lee Pulliam. They throw the caution. nobody wrecked. The caution is out.
The yellow flag is out. The scoring is now showing 201 laps. The scoreboard may be a little off here at Myrtle Beach, so we're going to pull them all back together again. There's always this excitement in short track racing. It's almost...
Wait. Watch these two here. And Pulliam coming by, and if that pace car wasn't so close, this might have gotten a lot more. He did not like what Jake Crum did there. Feels that he was done wrong by the 0-1, and he is letting him know that that was not the way he wanted to be raced and not the way he raced Crum throughout the night.
Let's go down to Lee Pulliam's pits after this game-changing call. Here's Mark Kenyon.
We're down here. What did he tell you?
Nah, he didn't say a whole lot. He's hoping to get the spot back. We didn't lose forward momentum. That's the rules. I'm not sure they're going to give it to us. I think the 01 is going to the rear for rough driving. I mean, your natural reaction would be to wreck him. He's been trying it all night, but we want to win the race. You can't tap race cars win races, and that's what we're here to do. So we're going to try to mind our own business and get the chrome, like I told you earlier.
Here we go, boys. Get ready. It's going to get nasty now.
We got a replay. You see Crum cross that white line with his tires. He went up into Pulliam. The car pushed up, whether it was driven up or pushed, Pulliam got contact from the car below. And wow, has the complexion of this race just changed dramatically. Timothy Peters in the red car, he's been able to move up, but so has the black 16 of Chad McCumbee.
McCumbee was running in a position in third place to inherit the lead now after our two front runners went to the wayside following the caution that was brought out by both of them according to the NASCAR officials. So we're in a position now where the whole complexion of the race has changed. It'll be interesting to see how well they run. And we're going to take a look at where they ended up on the tail end of the lead lap. That's the 5 Pulliam and the 01 of Jake Crum.
Less than 25 laps to go. It's going to be nearly impossible for Pulliam to be able to make his way back up front, and Crum as well. So now you're looking at a restacked deck, and the green is out. McCumbee and Peters. And Peters, you remember, ran the truck race last night. And, whoa, look at him down the front straightaway, and it's already broken out. Pulliam and Crum have met each other once again, and this time Pulliam's car damaged right there. Right at each other after that caution, and back to green, and you can see Pulliam disgusted in his race car, and that's not a good situation for the former national or current national champion.
The situation is this. This is the essence of short track racing.
Pulliam's getting out of his car. He's getting out of his car, and he's going to wait as Crum comes by. You don't want to be walking too far away from your car. The officials certainly don't want you out in any kind of danger zone. He surveys his car, doesn't have his helmet in his hands to throw anywhere. He's going to walk back across the racetrack, waves to the fans, and Crum's car is already out there on pit lane, and Crum is coming out of the car. Jake Crum and some of the NASCAR officials around him, and you've got anger down there in the pits. People a little bit physical down there, not happy with the way circumstances turned out, and you've got to keep everybody away and let things calm down here, as there is certainly confrontation over there. Pulliam walking by, and that's not the kind of look that anybody wants to get from a national champion like Lee.
Emotions run high.
And let's watch as they come down the front straightaway. You can already see that cars have contacted each other. You can see Pulliam's car out of shape and Crum getting into him. That may have been the second time.
Coming back up to speed on the onboard racekeeper camera of Blair Addis, the HEDMAN header entry. Whoa, he just missed Pulliam. What a close call. Here's another view from the Petty Garage's racekeeper camera of 17-year-old Thad Moffitt. Check Pulliam's number 5 car. He's over to the left on the inside on this restart. Pulliam may have had a mechanical miscue as he failed to come up to speed.
Mark Kenyon has been down there getting all of the information. He's down in the 0-1. Mark Kenyon.
Jake, tell me what happened.
Lee knows what happened. He run me over for the win at Martinsville, and I bottomed out getting in the corner just like he did at Martinsville. I got in the corner pretty hard and bottomed out. Got into him, but I don't guess he can take what he gives out. But the fans, MAV TV, you know, everybody knows that we were the ones here. We were dominant car again, just like we were at Martinsville. So one of these days, Virginia boys will learn that they're going to get beat by a North Carolina boy.
Hard way to end the night.
So we'll take a break, and we'll be back with more of the exciting finish from the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 right here on MAV TV. Welcome back to the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday gift card, and it just keeps changing. Chad McCumbee in the black car. Outside of him, Timothy Peters in the red, and Josh Berry and Brendan Queen. You got to believe Berry and Queen have been so close. They want this one bad. They may have to drive through those front runners. Here comes McCumbee. McCumbee down in the corner number 1. We get a clean start here. Now, will we be able to run clean to the finish? And Myatt Snyder has emerged to the top 5. You've got 2 previous winners. Peters goes to the front. He's won this race before. Snyder in 5th. He's won it before. It's going to get busy.
But what about the guys that haven't won it? They're hungry. They're hungry, and they are going to battle these guys to see if they can take home the trophy and the money.
You are right. And those 3 in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have been this close, but it's gotten away from them. And right now, McCumbee wants it back. Berry wants to revenge from last year. And Butterbean, Brendan Queen back there, he wants it as well. These 3 are going to make a show of it, and Peters better make that 12 car double wide.
Laps are winding down here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Our leaders working in turn 3, now working through 4. It's far from being over. Everybody's still got to run clean, but somebody's going to have to make a bold move to outrun the car that is leading at the present time, the Martinsville winner, Timothy Peters.
Martinsville, Timothy Peters. Behind him, the Cars Tour champion, Josh Berry, in that junior motorsports equipment. It looks like it's still turning well, and you know it's got a lot of steam up under that hood. The 12 car's going to have its work cut out for him. These 2 are going to go at it hammer and tong. Berry's got the inside. Can Peters hold him off?
He's got to stay focused, no matter who you are right now. Focus on where you're going to place the car and what your strategy is going to be to pass the leader and stay there.
Both of these drivers long ago, Legend Series racers, now trying to be legendary by taking a win here in the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Down into the corner, Berry continues to hug the inside line while Peters continues to drift up higher and higher. That's opening the door for Josh Berry.
But he's running the car as free as he can without scrubbing any speed off of it. While the 88, Berry, is binding the car up, running at the bottom.
Berry trying to find enough speed down at the bottom. He goes once again, and you can see now the car's starting to get a little bit of loose under there as he really jumps on it. Berry may have him. He's got him by the door. It's door to door coming off of turn number 2. Josh Berry on the inside. They bump, they touch, and Berry is able to get the nose in front for a moment.
Got to keep it, the pressure on Peters. He's got to stay right there with him, and he's got to move him up the racetrack a little bit too.
Josh Berry wants to call down to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and say, Bud, I got one more for you. And down into the corner, Berry takes the lead. Peters in 2nd. Behind him, Chad McCumbee, and there's Brendan Queen in 4th.
They're running way low on the racetrack. What you're seeing is that they're running over some of the inner speed bumps, and that's where the shower of sparks are coming from.
Here's a good run between Snyder and Sam Mayer as they enter the corner with Tommy Lemons behind him.
Mayer has saved something. He's got some tires under him, but the distance between he and the leaders is
just too much.
too
And
much to overcome, I believe. But he's having a battle for position right now. He's having to race his heart out.
14-year-old Sam Mayer, Myatt Snyder to his outside. Both a couple of really good racers as they circulate around the track side by side. The laps winding down. 2:17
Still haven't etched a name on the trophy yet.
Not at all. Not at all. And you don't want to count out any of those three if something happens to these front runners. But Barry right now, as our friend Barney Hall would say, holding a pretty wheel and getting ready to go down there to another friend of ours, old Dick Brooks would say, a bunch of happy people to meet him at Victory Lane.
Oh, yeah.
It is Barry, your leader. That 88, so well put together. It is almost a show car when you get up next to it. The decal source doing such a great job putting together this impressive wrap, and he is giving it all it's got now up front. We're coming to 5 to go next time by. Barry doesn't want to see any other flag but the white flag and the checker. Keep them all in their place. Barry coming out of 4.
Like you said, there are no marks on the car, no wheel marks. He's basically kept his car intact and raced when it was time to go.
A signal of 5 to go been given to these racers, and Josh Berry has as long as 5 laps that he's probably ran all season. Continues to run up front ahead of Timothy Peters. The distance, the margin, safe enough for now. But if we get a caution, it all goes away.
Unfortunately, that caution is the only thing that may interrupt his evening.
Josh Berry in front, won the Cars Tour Championship earlier this year, securing that title for Junior Motorsports, and would love to cap this one off. Maybe head to that Snowball Derby with all the momentum that Christian Eckes took from here on his way to going back-to-back at the Derby.
It's amazing how well he has done. Look at the little fire flying from behind the side of the brake rotor on the car. But he is still circulating, still turning some very respectable laps here. And it's almost down to the white flag. We're getting very, very close now. But Barry has proven himself here this evening that he can run with the leaders, the best drivers who run the late model stock cars, and he is closing in on Victory Lane.
Barry comes out of corner number 4. The Junior Motorsports number 88, sponsored by the decal source this weekend. He ran 3rd. He ran 3rd throughout the mid portion of the race. He ran 3rd throughout all the parts of the race that didn't matter. And now, as he comes out of corner number 4, the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 goes to Josh Berry. And wow, what a NASCAR racing experience it will be for the next person to drive on this track and actually feel the exuberation that Berry is feeling right now in that 88. He is a Visit Myrtle Beach 400 winner.
And our congratulations to him. I like the way he kind of whipped the steering wheel back and forth at the start-finish line. For a moment there, you said, he's run out of gas. No, he didn't run out of gas. He was just happy with picking off the checkered flag.
Well, as Barry comes around, he'll go to Victory Lane. That'll give us a couple of minutes to let him do his thing on the front straightaway. He'll burn it out. We'll go to break. We'll be back with more from the Visit Myrtle Beach 400 here on MAV TV. Welcome back to the Visit Myrtle Beach 400, presented by NASCAR Racing Experience Holiday Eat gift card. It's time to go down to Victory Lane. We've got some special awards to give out, don't we, Bill?
Plenty of them, including a box of cigars. They used to have a close but no cigar award, but tonight he gets the cigars. I just wonder if he'll smoke them.
Well, let's go down
he
to
did
Mark.
that. He smoked them on the track.
Let's go down to Mark Kenyon, who is with our winning driver.
Josh Berry climbing out. Big, big win. A lot of jubilation down here at Victory Lane. Josh, take me back to the past for the lead.
Man, I lost this race right at the end last year, and I could see Timothy slipping up a little bit. I wasn't sure if it was too early, but I just felt like my best bet was to try to get the lead, and we had enough there. I think I told you at halfway that we needed to make the right adjustments. We needed to save a little bit more tire, and finally the race went our way. Been racing a long time, and this is a pretty big win for us for sure.
What's this mean to you tonight to do it?
Oh man, it's awesome. It's just we've had a great year, a long year, but a great year. The decal source stepped on board with us here the last few races and come on board and supported me and brought a beautiful looking race car here tonight. I'm sure it looked great on the track, and everybody at Junior Motorsports that supported me. Dale, obviously this is a big weekend for him. I know he's going to be pretty excited about this one. He was pretty excited when we got the pole, so I know he's going to be excited over that. And Kelly and LW Miller, man, they just stuck by me all these years, and it feels good to finally check one of these big races off. And as Dale said after he won Martinsville, we're going to drink a lot of beer tonight.
Josh Berry going to be partying later on tonight.
Well, from victory lane, let's go over and chat with the second place finisher. He's alongside of Mark Kenyon.
Timothy at the front all night, one spot short. Tell me about it.
Yeah, second's the first loser for sure, but congrats to Josh and his whole team. He had a great car, and we raced really hard. So at the end of the day, to come to Myrtle Beach, we won this race in 2003. Last time I raced here was 2013. But all the guys at this Nelson Motorsports and AutosByNelson.com Camry has done a really good job. Thanks to Bobby McCarty for practicing my car yesterday and getting it tuned in. So Brandon Pierce coming to Myrtle Beach 400 for the first time out of our race shop with World of Roofing on his car, and he makes the show, and he does a good job and just caught up in a wreck there, not of his doing at the end. So good day for Nelson Motorsports.
Great night, second place for Timothy Peters.
Timothy Peters, outstanding competitor, finishes second, and Mark will work his way on over. Why don't we go down now as Mark is alongside of the competitor that finished third in the Visit Myrtle Beach 400.
Down here with Chad McCumbee. Chad, good run. You were at the front all night.
Yeah, I think so. If you could have told me we were going to be here the final practice, I would have said, I don't really know. But guys worked their butts off and made some good calls. I'm really proud. This old girl here, it's got some age on it, and we led a lot of Myrtle Beach 400 with it and had a chance at it. But at the end of the day, I think it came down to weight. We've got an excellent motor package with Elliott Henderson engines in our Ford crate, but those two Chevrolets in front of us got a little weight off, and Myrtle Beach Speedway is about tires, man. So I saved all I could, but we were best in class, and I didn't quite have enough at the end.
And this car is 16 years old, your crew chief told me.
Maybe be even more than that. I want to say the center section maybe probably closer to 20. So it's first late model stock I ever had that me and my dad and family raced back in the early 2000s down here and got a win in my rookie season. So I just kept it. I put it back together to kind of just sit there and maybe just have fun for a little bit. But here it is, third in the Myrtle Beach 400. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, it's a good old race car. Don't get rid of that one.
A happy driver there in the top three. We'll give you the top 10 here at the Visit Myrtle Beach 400. Josh Berry, your winner. Timothy Peters finishes as runner-up. McCumbee there just finishing third. Brendan Queen, accounting well for himself, finishes fourth. How about the 14-year-old out of Wisconsin, Sam Mayer, coming back from an early incident. He finishes in the top 5. Tommy Lemons Jr. finishes 6th. Past winner of this event, Myatt Snyder, finishes 7th. Justin Milliken crosses in 8th. Shane Lee comes home 9th. And in 10th, a nice run for the teenager Ty Gibbs.
It's time to get the trophy and the rewards of the win for Josh Berry. From Cannon Small Engine and Service, a Husqvarna chainsaw, presented by owner Clint Cannon. A chartered deep-sea fishing trip on the Atlantic Ocean for Josh Berry and his crew of the Junior Motorsports number 88. From First Strike Charters and Captain Keith Gossett. From Daytona One's Beach Madness, season-long competition, it's $5,000, and it goes to Tommy Lemons Jr. For production support, thanks to Ocean Lakes Golf Cars, located at Ocean Lakes Family Campground in Myrtle Beach. named the 2017 National Mega Park of the Year by Arvig, and 4-time winner of the TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence. For Lenny Baticki and Mark Kenyon, I'm Bill Hennessy. Remember, we'll see you at the races. This race is in remembrance of Jackie Ward, who passed away of a heart attack. He was a 23-year competitor here at the beach. Jackie, we'll miss you.